trouble is, I'm named Bernard. Who made it my name? Well, did I make it my name? I don't feel like a Bernard. I had hostile parents, and they named me Bernard. Is that my fault? Okay, Bernard is fine for other people, but all my life, when I was out on the street and somebody says Bernard, I felt like they were speaking to somebody else. And when I realized they were speaking to me, I felt disappointed. I just can't identify with the name. Inside, I'm all different than a Bernard. If you knew me on the inside, you wouldn't even recognize me from knowing me on the outside. Oh, you should see me when I'm by myself. The me on the inside starts to flower and come alive, and then somebody comes along and says Bernard, and it remembers who I am and gets crushed. I know I would be different if people only called me by my inside name. Spike.
Starting in 5, 4.
It's Time America for What Do You Want to Be When You Grow Up? That fun game show that asks the bothersome question, where did I go wrong? Anyways, who's our first contestant? Frank.
Hi. Stepping up before our nationwide self-help cameras is Mrs. ESP of Long Island.
And what was it that you wanted to be when you grew up, Miss ESP?
I could never make up my mind. I used to want to be an opera singer.
An opera singer of songs! How does that rate an ambition meter audience?
But I couldn't seem to get started. Then I wanted to be a novelist.
A novelist of books! Rate that one audience.
But I couldn't seem to get started. In the meantime, I became the one thing I never wanted to be. A mother.
A mother of children! Rate that one.
That's where I went wrong. It's hard work. It's too much responsibility.
Oh, we're sure you're a wonderful parent, Miss ESP.
It gives me no time for myself. I don't know who I am anymore.
Oh, that's wonderful. But isn't your heart of hearts a mother what all you dear ladies want to be out there? Fess up, Miss ESP. Fess up now.
Now I know what I want to be. A dancer on stage with Christina Aguilera. Not dancing with Christina Aguilera is where I went wrong. See. You said you'd help me. You said...
America knows you're pulling its leg, Miss ESP. And as a bonus for coming on the show today, we're going to give you another child. Is that what...
I had the nuttiest dream last night. I'm driving fast in this wide open field, and my mom's saying, you better not stay out late. And all of a sudden, I'm in this dark tunnel. And I hear the sound like rushing water. And the water gets higher and higher, and I'm about to be drowned until I find a flight of stairs. And I run up the stairs, and I run faster and faster, and they never seem to end until I get to this door. And when I open the door, I suddenly see in front of me a big, giant donut!
A dance to 2007. This year's dance attempts a more sophisticated approach than my dances of previous years. It rejects the too easy alienation of my dance of '06. It eliminates the stylish disillusion of my dance of '05. It shuns the boastful nonconformity of my dance of '04. It denies the egoistic idealism of my dance of '03, '02, '01, appraisal of the world, unsentimental in its summing up of my position in it. A dance to 2007.
I tell you, pacifism as a broad policy is completely unrealistic. For instance, if I should shove your girl here, can you honestly say that you would not hit her, me, to protect her?
Well, that's a tired old argument, but I'll answer it anyways. No. Violence met by violence only begets more violence. A minor provocation can mushroom into an entire war. We must learn to gain control over our feelings.
You don't believe that yourself. I'm shoving her. Does that make you mad? Does it? Does it? Does it?
What's that?
Well, I admit to arousing feelings, yes, but violence is not the answer. Inevitably, a chain of reactions is set off. A first move, a counter move, a retaliation. Eventually, an atmosphere of such hostility is created, and no corrective measures can be taken.
You're a lot of fun, you know.
You are too? I had no idea. Let's go.
I hate war.
I've always found most fascinating problems of you North Americans in handling art of government. I refer actually to various stages of development your country has enjoyed since its birth as an agricultural state, to an industrial state, and now to its present form, a corrupt state. Corruption as a form of government is in various stages of development. In Soviet Union, for instance, where it operates with greatest efficiency, you have state or trickle-down theory of corruption. But in your country, you seem to be in a more transitional, a more dynamic phase. Freeform corruption. Freeform corruption is a most unpredictable phase because it continues self-consciously to deny its existence and publicly denounces what it owes its existence to. So as a part of this philosophy, you offer a regular program of planned exposures. A building inspector 1 month, several police officials another month, and thus the public is encouraged to think of corruption as an unwelcome stranger in the house instead of as the host. But at the same time, with so much surface corruption made so appallingly evident, the public can hardly avoid becoming increasingly corruption-oriented. So it is only a matter of time before corruption takeover become complete. Well now, considering this fascinating complex of circumstances, and taking into consideration the failure of your education system, the increasing decline of your culture, your impending civil war, etc., one serious question does beg to be raised. Are the American people ready for independence?
What are you doing?
Striking!
Striking. What in the world for?
I haven't selected an issue yet.
Well, where are the others?
What others?
The other strikers.
Well, where are the other policemen?
What are you talking about? I'm the only policeman.
Well, you go get some more policemen, and I'll see what I can do about getting some more strikers.
Well, that still doesn't settle the issue. Say, why not try striking for higher pay for policemen? Did you know that in some cities we have to pay for our own bullets?
Shocking! Will you drag us off to jail if we use your issue?
Policemen don't make deals. Not on your level, at least. We have to maintain some standards, you know.
Oh, hey, wait, I got an issue.
quaint and plaintive song of my people. To the new year, as sung in the original ethnic, 'tis being sung by a farmer to his land as he plants the New Year's crop. The farmer sings. This year is my year. This year I'll make it. And the land sings back. Fat chance. So the farmer sings. I'll catch up on my reading. Buy me a T-bone. Buy me a museum membership. This year will be different. And the land sings. Who are you kidding? Who are you kidding? So the farmer sings. I'll be more creative. I'll start on that novel. I'll build a mosaic coffee table. And the land sings back. Why don't you grow up? You'll feed me forever. This is followed by a wild circle dance done on the knees. In my country, this can go on for years.
Oh, Ben, why must this go on? All this fighting, all this violence?
Someday, there'll be a town here, Tessie. And there'll be a church. And there'll be school. And there'll be law. And there'll be horseless carriages. And there'll be factories. And there'll be air pollution. And there'll be alienation. And there'll be dropouts. And there'll be violence. Oh, that's what we're fighting for, Tessie. A heritage.
Have you ever met someone who's never had an original thought in his life?
If you ask me, it takes all kinds.
I mean, someone who in all his years of living has never uttered a word that was unhappy, a sentence that wasn't a cliche.
If you ask me, people are pretty much the same the world over.
Well, have you ever heard of a guy like that engaged in a serious intellectual conversation?
Well, I always say it's a free country.
And the guy he's talking to is exactly the same way he is. Have you ever heard of something like that?
Well, this is only my opinion, but I like to think that while I might not agree with what a man says, I'll defend his right to say it.
And nobody's really saying anything, but each one thinks he's expressing these deep, profound thoughts. I tell you, it's depressing.
Well, what are you gonna do? Fight City Hall?
Why don't people ever listen to themselves? Why don't they ever get perspective?
Oh, I've thought a lot about that. I guess we live and we lie. We live and we lie.
If only some of us had the power to see ourselves as others see us.
I used to feel that way, but I grew up.
Why do I always wind up with girls who are neurotic?
Oh, think that chick at the table, huh? Something.
I never know they're neurotic in the beginning. In the beginning, they seem so normal.
Oh, she's on a little magazine kick. I love it. It kills me.
In the beginning, she tells me how kind I am, how I'm not crude and demanding like all the other men she's met.
Oh, she's looking up. Wild eyes, wild!
In the
Look this
beginning,
way,
we
baby.
seem to be almost the same person. We love the same songs, the same movies.
Smile, you little phony magazine chick. Smile.
And all of a sudden, she begins to hide yawns while I'm talking. When we're alone, she makes long phone calls.
Go ahead, pretend to read. Don't pretend with me, sugar.
Soon it's all over. We have a long cry about it. She says it's all her fault, and that I'm the only man who's ever respected her. I've lost a girl and won a friend.
Oh, look at that no-good little doll smile. Hey, loan me a few bucks. Bernard.
Do you ever respect girls, Huey?
If I had any respect for girls, I'd never make out.
How do you do, Mr. Mercantiler? I'm your grown-up.
You're my what?
Surely you've always wanted a grown-up. Somebody to take over those petty day-to-day affairs which so complicate one's life, and who handles them cleanly and efficiently. Somebody who will not allow your insurance to lapse, your car to break down, your rent to fall overdue. Somebody who will not be nervous in regard to calling the landlord about needed repairs, the girlfriend about breaking date, the boss about needed raise. In other words, somebody who's trained to do all those adult things too many of us have been asked to do since childhood and still can't quite manage. Somebody who's happy and willing to stand on your own 2 feet for you, to fight all your battles, to make all your difficult decisions, i.e., your grown-up.
You mean I'll never have to make a decision again?
Once in your employ, I, your grown-up, will make them all.
Well, it's wonderful. It's what I've wanted all my life. How much do you want me to pay you?
Gee, I don't know. What do you think I'm worth?
Well, try to see it my way. Well, I'm nearly 20, and if I was ever going to make a break, now is the time to do it. Imagine, half of my girlfriends were already separated from their husbands, and here I was still living at home. So, I told my parents I was moving out. You can't imagine the yelling and screaming. My father said, "You're breaking your mother's heart." My mother said, "What was my crime? What was my terrible crime?" And before I knew it, I was out on the street with my raincoat, my suitcase, and my tennis racket, but I had no place to move. So, I looked around downtown, but everything was too expensive, and evening came, and all my girlfriends had reconciled with their husbands, and so there was absolutely no place I could spend the night. Well, frankly, what could I do? I waited till it was way past my parents' bedtime, then I sneaked back into the house and set the alarm in my bedroom for 6 the next morning. Then, I slept on top of the sheet so I wouldn't wrinkle any covers, had breakfast in the morning, and got out before anyone was up. I've been living that way for 2 months now. Every night after midnight, I sneak into my house, sleep on top of the bed till 6 the next morning, have breakfast, and sneak out. And every day, I call my parents from the downstairs drugstore, and they yell and they cry at me to come back. But of course, I always tell them no. I'll never give up my independence.
I never used to go out onto the street. I was always afraid that I'd get beat up. I knew it was a stupid fear. I knew it was unrealistic. I looked up statistics on people who got beat up when they went out onto the street. It's surprisingly small. But still, I had my food delivered. I had my newspapers delivered. All my dates were at my house. And as long as I didn't go out onto the street, I seemed to be fine. Until one day, when I was sitting comfortably in my living room, it occurred to me that I did not dare go into the kitchen. That if I went into the kitchen, I'd get beat up. So I sat through all 4 late shows thinking my problem out, and then at 5 in the morning, I finally concluded that it was nobody on the outside that I was afraid of, that it was me I was afraid of, that the only person who beat himself up on a regular basis was myself. So I got up off the couch, without fear, went into the kitchen, and nobody beat me up. So, then I got up off the couch, put on my coat without fear, went onto the street, and nobody beat me up. I finally felt alive again. I knew I would never be afraid anymore. I felt so good that the first couple of people I saw on the street, I beat up.
All right, is it crime?
It's just so hard to believe.
It's not like I did something wrong.
It's just so hard to believe.
You wanted me to confide in you. Are you sorry now?
No, it's so hard to believe. Tell me again.
I've never been to Europe.
I am an artist.
But that is not really what I want to do. What I really want to do is to be a shoe salesman. I know what you are going to say. Dreamer! Get your head out of the clouds! But I cannot help it. It is what I want to do. Oh, instead I have to go on with this painting all day. Oh, the world should make a place for a shoe salesman.
Sometimes I wish I was a dictator, a ruler, a strong man with a ruthless grasp on power, an iron grip on the helm of government. But loved. The law is my law. The people are my people. Whomever I conquer remains conquered. Premier Bernard. King Bernard. Emperor Bernard. Tsar Bernard. Boy, then could I meet girls?
Florence,
Yes, Henry?
how long has it been now since we were married?
What, 6 years? 7? When exactly was it, Henry?
Let's see now. Was it before or after Friends came on?
I think it was between Friends and Seinfeld. Harry, isn't that right?
Yes, the night of our first anniversary. I wore with the globe with Florence.
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And 1 year later, our little Giles was born.
I remember Frasier.
They were fabulous years, Florence.
Where do you think it went wrong, Henry?
I don't know. I thought a lot about it. Do you think it was Law and Order?
I wish I knew, Henry. Or maybe it was ER. It just never was the same without George Clooney, Henry.
Don't cry, my love. When violence enters a life, I guess everything changes.
I don't think I could ever forgive The Sopranos, Henry.
Don't cast blame, my darling. Reality is cruel. I learned that from American Idol.
I didn't know life could be that way. Are we ready for that sort of world, Henry?
Ready or not, we must face it bravely.
And Giles, Henry, what about Giles?
Giles too, Florence. Giles too.
What's on next?
America's most smartest model.
I'll go bring him in.
Excuse me.
Oh, you don't like being
Excuse me. I'm just doing my job. Club will now come to order. We start with a report from Mr. Rockwell J.
Okay, yeah.
I began as a monitor in grammar school. When I was called down for reporting my classmates, I simply answered, "Don't blame me, I was told to do it." Later on, I went to work in the military service. It was my job to classify personnel. I didn't like sending men to war, but those were my orders. I had no choice.
Highly responsible.
Later on, after service, I had trouble finding my niche. For a while, I went to work as a realty agent for a slum. The tenants didn't understand I was just doing what I was hired to do.
That's natural. Very natural.
I like that.
Next, I went to work as a witness. I appeared before dozens of congressional committees. I didn't like the work, but I had to do what I was being paid for.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
And now, I've reached the pinnacle. I've gotten to work in a state prison. I don't necessarily believe in capital punishment, but someone has to pull a switch. My glass band! My glass band! Of course, some people don't understand. They associate me with the way I make a living.
How starry-eyed. How naive. Next, we move on to a report from Mr. Arnold K. on intercontinental ballistic missiles.
I had an answering service once. Every day I'd call up and I'd say, "This is Bernard Mergendealer. Are there any messages?" And every day the girl would answer, "No messages, Mr. Muggenthaler." It went on like this for 3 weeks. Every day I'd call up, and every day the girl would answer, "No messages, Mr. Muggenthaler." Oh, I got embarrassed. I quit calling up every day. Sometimes I wouldn't call all week, and always she would say, "No messages, Mr. Muggenthaler." By the 6th week, I detected a note of pity in her voice. Do you know what it's like to be pitied by your answering service? She began to call me Bernie boy. I knew I had to do something, so one day I dialed my own number, let it ring until the girl answered, and then in a disguised voice I said, "May I please speak to Bernard Mergendealer? Nelson Rockefeller here." And she began to cry. "Oh, God bless you, Mr. Rockefeller," she said. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And she was weeping and kissing the phone. Next day I had the damn thing taken out.
I found a flower. I found a flower. My flower is big and beautiful and extremely robust.
That's true. Your flower is dark and ungainly and may not live till morning. It will certainly be a struggle.
I love my flower for all of its richness and grandeur.
I love my flower for its spiritual values.
What spiritual values?
My flower is a tragic flower. It has soul. It has poetry.
Just because my flower is big, it can't have poetry?
My flower must struggle for hourly survival. It is taken within basics. It broods about the deep things.
Are you calling my flower a dilettante?
Your flower is rich and probably has a leisure problem.
I suddenly feel like beating your flower over the head with my flower.
My flower would die loving me.
I apologize. I have a vulgar flower.
My flower truly understands.
dance to the end of summer. In this dance, I have symbolized the summer solstice in its declension. The tides, the sand, the sea, the sandpipers. The summer flowers. The good fisher folk. Insect repellent. Baby oil. The main boardwalk. All are gathered in organic unity. All testify to both man and nature being as one.
What's she doing that for?
To lose weight.
Wow. Take a look at that sunset. Beautiful, huh?
You call that beautiful?
Certainly I call that beautiful.
Listen, if you call that beautiful, you should see my wife's ermine stole.
How can you compare the beauty of a sunset to the beauty of your wife's ermine stole?
My friend, tell me, what is beauty?
That sunset, that's beauty.
No, beauty is what you ain't got, multiplied by what you never thought you'd have. That's beauty.
I'm a plain person. I don't understand.
Beauty ain't a something out there, like you put that back right now. Put it back. Beauty ain't a something out there like some sunset that you're gonna forget 5 minutes from now. Beauty is something that's been out of your reach your whole life until one day you got it. That's beauty.
So your wife's ermine stole is more beautiful than a sunset.
My friend, my wife wore rags for years. Rags. When the day came when I could finally bring her home in ermine stole, well, in comparison, what's one lousy sunset? Ding me.
That must be some ermine stole.
A rag. You should see her sable.
Beautiful, huh?
Like a sunset.
Hey, look out in the street, Charlie. Some girl's being chased by a guy with a big rock.
Probably lovers, Doris. Don't get involved.
Oh boy, he caught her. Will you listen to her scream?
Mind your own business and shut the window doors.
Well, I wonder if we should call the police.
Don't grow trouble. The first thing they want is her name.
Yeah. Then they print it in the papers. You start getting weirdo phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely no consideration.
Yeah. Anyhow, it's over. She's just lying there.
Come away from the window, Doris. It's not our business.
Hey, look over there, Charlie. Some guy's climbing on that window ledge.
Where?
There.
Jump! Jump! Jump!
You want to know what's wrong with you kids this day?
You just never want to grow up.
I used to want to grow up. Then I took it all. I looked at all the grown-ups around me, complaining about the jobs they hate, and dying from boredom months after they retire from them. Picking wives out of women they're not attracted to, and remaining attracted to women they think are tramps. Watching TV 6 nights a week so they don't have to talk to their families. And joining the club one night a week so they can talk to the boys. Preaching to their kids about their inalienable rights. And then when their kids try to act on them, warning their kids to grow up, mister. To my generation, not wanting to grow up is a sign of maturity.
What did I do that was so terrible? Tell me. I'll admit it if it was terrible. Just tell me.
Forget it, okay? Will you please just forget it?
What did I do? Is it that you can't score any points in tennis? Is that what's bothering you? Sweetheart, I like that you're so easy to beat at tennis. With all the things you do better than me, isn't it all right for me to do one thing better? For instance, you type marvelously. I wish I could type half as well. And you're terribly neat. Neater than I could ever hope to be. And you are a strong walker. And if it wasn't for those 2 years in the Army, well, I'm sure you'd be making at least as much money. Sweetheart, why get so upset? Larry, what do you think you're doing?
Hemorrhaging!
You're arguing with me.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just trying to make a point.
There is a difference between trying to make a point and embarking on a sadistic attack.
If sadism is your equivalent to impartial judgment, then I admit to being a sadist.
Oh, well, how easy to be flip when one precludes responsibility.
How irresponsible! What's so irresponsible to speak of irresponsibility?
Since you must project your own inadequacies into a discussion of the facts, I see no point in carrying this further.
How like you to use attack as a disguise for retreat!
Ah, but if we're not arguing, as you so heatedly claim, what is it I am retreating from?
I'm getting a headache.
Me too.
Let's drop it and go to a movie.
Ever since they were little, I told them, they'd grow up, they'd leave us, they'd break our hearts. Did I or didn't I?
That's the way children are today. They don't listen.
And what did they say? No, Pa, no, we'll always be there for you. Did they or didn't they?
Children always have to contradict.
I had to write notes under the door. Don't tell me you won't break our hearts. I'm your father.
Notes in the family. Who taught them how to read?
But I told them, didn't I? Hundreds of times. And what did they say? No, Pa, no, we'll always be there for you. And the next day, it's don't I have the right to a little privacy.
Privacy. Who pays their doctor bills?
So they grew up and they left us. So who was right? The father or the children?
A child right? How could a child be right?
But a funny thing happened. They didn't break our hearts. As a matter of fact, I felt a whole lot better.
Me too. 100%.
After all these years, what a discovery to make.
We never liked children.
Innocent love? Well, I'm sure innocent love is nice and all, but it has a tendency to inhibit me.
I have undemanding love to give. Somebody take it.
Undemanding love gives me guilt feelings. Try somewhere else.
I have love that's never been tapped to give. Isn't somebody going to take it?
Untapped love drowns! Better try elsewhere.
I have stifled love to give. Surely somebody will take it.
Stifled love makes me nervous. You're bound to find somebody else, kid.
I have embittered love to give. Look, you gonna take it or not?
Gee, baby, I've got my own problems.
I have nothing to give.
Ah, you poor kid. Come on up to my place and let's talk about it.
Yes, Mr. Mergendiler. It's Mr. Bland of the Fink Foundation. We've received your application for endowment. We'd like a few further details. Now, Mr. Mergendiler, as you know, the Fink Foundation is authorized to give financial grants to unworthy causes. Can you prove that you qualify? Then you do have references. Wonderful. Your mother, your teachers, your past employers, perfectly delightful. No, Mr. Mergendiler, we do not need the names of previous girlfriends. Now, Mr. Mergendiler, if you were to receive this grant, what would you do with it? Ah, you'd fritter it away, fine. In what manner, might I ask? You'd sit in bed all day and read mysteries, perfectly delightful. Now, one last question, Mr. Monkey Digger. If you were to receive this grant, how would you feel? You'd feel guilty, perfectly delightful. You'll be receiving your check in the morning.
I'm sitting right next to you. Do you see me?
Can't touch you anymore. Just can't get through anymore.
You live in your own private little world. Open it up, air it out. Look at me. Look at me.
Always it's you, never it's me. I have rights. I'm a person.
I can't talk to you. I just can't get through anymore.
Don't you see that I'm sitting right next to you?
Always it's you, never it's me. I write from a person.
You're living in your own private little world. Open it up, air it out. Look at me, look at me.
What's the use? You
You
haven't
haven't heard a
a
single word I've said.
What?
What?
Life is a game!
No, life is the wearing of masks. Everyone knows that.
Well, for instance, up until a minute ago, we were playing the love game. Now we're playing the argument game.
That's all the mask. The argument mask is just a cover-up for our disappointment in the love mask.
Well, if you didn't have the too cool attitude that love is a mask, I might not have been disappointed in the love game.
And if you think that being treated like a team player is my idea of a good mask, you're out of your mind.
This is all sort of silly, isn't it?
I suppose so.
I mean, what does it matter? Life, masks, games. If anything in this world is not a game, it's my love for you, Isabel.
And for even a moment in this age of disguises, we could drop our masks. My true face would show I loved you.
My darling.
My heart.
Ever since I was a little kid, I didn't want to be me. I wanted to be Billy Whittleton. Billy Whittleton didn't even like me. I walked like he walked. I talked like he talked. I signed up for the high school he signed up for. Which was when Billy Whittleton changed. He began to hang around Herbie Vanman. He walked like Herbie Vanman. He talked like Herbie Vanman. He mixed me up. I began to walk and talk like Billy Whittleton, walking and talking like Herbie Vanman. And that Herbie Vanman walked and talked like Joey Haverland. And Joey Haverland walked and talked like Corky Sabason. So there I was, walking and talking like Billy Whittleton's imitation of Herbie Vanman's version of Joey Haverland, trying to walk and talk like Corky Sabason. Who do you think Corky Sabason was always walking and talking like? Of all people, don't be Kenny Wellington, that little pest who walks and talks like me.
Hey, taxi! 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 Hey! 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 Taxi! Taxi! Hey! Hey! Harry! How's a kid? Oh, you making any money?
I can't complain, Eddie. I can't complain.
Oh, son of a gun, you're looking good. Been a long time, huh? Damn glad to get rid of us, I bet, huh? Gave you a rough time down at the shop now, didn't we?
Ancient history, Eddie. It's all ancient history.
Ah, you kids. Hot shots. Trying to make the world over in a day. Not that I don't sympathize. I used to be a rebel in my youth, but I learned the same way you'll learn. I've been on the office staff 15 years. I get along with everybody. Tell the boss jokes on the office staff. Tell the office staff jokes on the boss. Know what they call me? Mr. Sunshine. Hey, I've seen fellows like you come and go. You're still not too old to take a little advice.
Look, Eddie,
Never trust anybody. The sons of bitches are out to get you.
Nobody's coming, Eddie.
Develop sincerity. Notice, my handshake, sincere. Don't do favors. Nice guys finish last. Don't expect too much and you won't be disappointed. Never play around with executive secretaries.
You're hurting me.
Are you still with Plutocrat Corporate?
Still with them, Eddie.
Don't worry about it. You'll do better. Use your head. That's my only advice to you. Hey, what'd they start you out with? $75,000.
They did all right by me, Eddie.
Less, huh? I don't want to know your secrets. Come on, $55,000. You don't have to be ashamed with me.
Look, we're buying a house in the island, Eddie.
No kidding. Very good idea. Cute little house, comfortable enough, 2-3 rooms. Then, when you're making a little more, you add on a wing so your wife can move in with you.
It's 25 rooms, Eddie. We're happy with it.
Say, Harry, what did you pay for that suit?
It's a pretty good suit, Eddie.
Hey, listen, Harry, if I'm being nosy, tell me to mind my own business.
No, it's a pretty good suit.
That much. I really like those cufflinks you're wearing.
And they're comfortable.
They're very nice. Oh, those English.
English.
Those look like very expensive shoes. You mind holding them up in the light so I can see a little better?
They're a comfortable shoe, Eddie.
Yeah. Say, Harry, you know, I've been thinking about going out on my own. You stay in one place too long, they don't appreciate you.
Well, to each his own, Eddie.
Yeah, that looks like a very nice briefcase. I bet you got a lot of important papers in that briefcase.
Well, it's good health that counts.
Yeah, I got a bad stomach. Although,
it's not good to overdo it.
Yeah, well, although, I'll tell you, a lot of it is pure luck. My break will come.
I wouldn't worry.
Listen, I'm a slow starter. We're not as glamorous as some people, but when we get moving, let me tell you, we get moving.
Yeah. Well, slow and steady wins the race, Eddie.
You notice I don't stand so straight anymore. Old taxi cab accident. I could have sued, but when you're a nice guy, you're a nice guy. You subject to migraine?
Can't say that I am, Eddie.
Yeah. You're a very lucky boy. It's not what you know, it's who you know. I never could make the right contacts. Sincerity isn't the best business trait in the world. I suppose you learned that early enough, didn't you, Harry?
Well, it's all in how you look at it.
Yeah. You missed the war, didn't you?
I was too young.
Yeah.
I don't
I gotta be going, Harry.
It's good seeing you, Eddie.
Say, wait up, Harry. Hey, what did you pay for that tie? You know, a good doctor.
So I was standing on the corner waiting for somebody to cross me because I'm not allowed to cross by myself. And some lady comes up to me and she says, "Here's a bubblegum sample. Do you chew this brand?" And I says, "I don't like bubblegum." So she takes out this pad and she starts writing and she says, "Why don't you like it? Is it the design of the wrapper?" And I says, "No, it's 'cause I can't blow bubbles." So she writes that down and then she says, "Well, what if there was a bubblegum that was guaranteed to blow bubbles?" And I says, well, I don't know. I can't cross the street by myself either. And I can't whistle through my fingers. And my teachers say I don't try. And when we play games, I'm always it. And I'm never allowed to watch my own one. And my father always calls me by my older sister's name. And so I'm shouting and I'm crying like mad. And this lady's writing away in her pad and she's crying too. So I say, "So you see, it has nothing to do with your bubblegum, it's me! It's me!" So I'm shouting and crying, and this lady's writing away in her pad, and this crowd forms. And some big guy says, "Is this lady bothering you, girlie?" In the crowd, it gets ugly. So the lady gets very nervous, and she drops her pad in the street, and she starts handing out bubblegum to everyone, and she's just saying to everyone, "Why don't you like it? Is it the design of the wrapper?" And nobody knows what she's talking about. So then I went home.
Is that your flower?
No, I was just looking at it.
It's a lovely flower. May I look at it with you?
Do as you like. I already told you it isn't my flower.
Some people object to having other people look at a flower with them.
I'd be lonely if I had to watch this flower all by myself. In truth, I only watch flowers in the hope that someone will come along and watch with me.
And you really don't love that flower. You're just using it.
I feel I bring as much to the flower as the flower brings to me. What beauty hath an unwatched flower?
Do people always come along and watch it with you?
You're the first in a long time. A long time.
Sounds very lonely for you. Why do you watch?
Well, how else do you meet people in the city?
Don't scream. Give me your purse.
Well, I wasn't going to scream. I was going to try to discuss this with you.
It won't work. 3 times this week, women have tried to discuss me out of their pocketbooks. I gotta live too, you know, so give it here.
Faster than the speed of light.
Oh my God.
More powerful than an express train.
It's
Leaps over tall buildings in a single bound.
Superman.
That scoundrel won't ever harm you again, madam. Else we'll have to reckon with Superman.
What is this? A gag?
Indeed, no, madam. Superman does not gag. Superman does not have a sense of humor.
But you can't really mean that.
But I am.
You mean what you read in comic books all the time.
Superman, madam. Superman.
Well, there's something wrong.
Madam?
Well, doesn't that costume make you look lumpy under all your street clothes? I mean, the cape and all.
Well, it's a little warm. I usually take off summers.
Well, why do you wear it?
What?
You know, the costume, the cape.
It's the uniform of Superman, madam.
Well, it's rather effeminate, don't you think?
Hold on.
It is rather skin tight. You're not a transvestite, are you? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
What?
You know, do you rescue more men than women?
I rescue only those in dire straits.
Why?
Why what?
Why this compulsion to rescue? Are you paid for it? Is it your job? Are you a cop?
Well, nobody hired me, if that's what you mean.
So, you just do it for kicks. Run around in your skin-tight effeminate leotards and rescue people for the thrill of it?
I fight crime.
You can't fight crime in a business suit.
You think I'm an exhibitionist.
Well, you could spend more time reading.
You can't judge Superman the way you judge other people.
Well, everybody thinks he's special, but they don't run around in skin-tight effeminate leotards.
I think it's wrong to judge Superman the way you judge Earth people. I admit that if I came from Earth and wore feminine skin-tight leotards and rescued more men than women, it would seem suspicious, but I'm from Krypton.
Look, I'm not arguing.
Well, I didn't want you to walk away with the wrong idea.
Look, if it makes you more secure to be as what you call Superman...
But I am, I tell you I am. Do you want me to prove it? Do you want me to leap over a tall building in a single bound?
Honey, you don't have to prove anything to me. What are these doubts that torment you so terribly that you have to go around proving your masculinity to everybody?
All right. Have it your way. I'm not Superman, all right? It's all a gag.
You'll see. You've come to a wise conclusion.
Well, you will admit that I'm better than average?
Well, I'm sure you are, but...
Can I take you to the theater tomorrow night?
I'm washing my hair then?
The next night?
I'm sorry, I'm busy.
Well, can I see you sometime?
The evenings are hard. Maybe for lunch, but you won't wear that costume.
Oh, no, a suit. I swear a suit. I'll go out this minute and buy a suit. Oh!
What's the matter? You're standing funny.
I've got a stomachache.
Well, are you okay? Can you get home by yourself?
I think I can make it. It's only a short ways. You're very considerate.
Well, don't rush around so much. You'll see that you'll feel better.
You've been a great help. I'll be in touch.
And drink some hot soup.
Don't scream. Give me your purse.
Superman, come quick. Superman.
Who?
A dance to scream. Dance! Dance! Snowflake. And then a lot. You first.
No, you first.
No, that's not fair.
Come on, I win. You first.
Well, I love you, Timor.
And I love you, Gladys.
When I open my eyes, there'll be world peace.
You only wish.
And a phone call from my mother saying, "You were right, I was wrong."
What do you want? Nothing changes.
And a good job, and a sense of purpose, and muscles.
Give in. What does it get you?
And a beautiful girl from a nice background who'll say, "I found you, my darling, found you at last."
Dreamer.
All when I open my eyes.
I found you, my darling. Found you at last.
When I open my eyes, he'll be back.
Please let go, Dolly. You've got to let go sometime. Love is more than mere possession. Love is giving rather than taking, freeing rather than enslaving. Please loosen your grip, Dolly. If you're afraid to let go, it means you don't trust me. And if you don't trust me, it means you think I'll leave you. And if you think I'll leave you, it means you have no respect for yourself. And if you have no respect for yourself, then in time, you will force me to lose respect for you. And if I lose respect for you, then in time, I will want to leave you. You're pleating my cardigan, Dolly, but with a looser hold. You free to go your way. Me free to go mine. We'd be so much happier. Try to see it my way, Dolly.
Me free to go my way.
Why, yes.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad.
Hold me.
Second in Maine, please.
Okay, you want to know what's causing juvenile delinquency? A breakdown in the system. That's what's causing juvenile delinquency. Now look, we're living in a world where you gotta go with the system. That's civilization. You got no system, you got no rules. If you got no rules, wham! All hell breaks loose. Now look, we got a system. Our system is corruption. It was like that when I was a kid, and it's like that now. You undermine a kid's faith in corruption, you ask him for trouble. So, you make a big stink out of police payoffs and butcher's fat thumbs. Kids have known that stuff for years, only they never knew it was wrong. You tell kids the values they grew up with are wrong, and they lose respect for the system, they go off the nut. It's okay, you make a few arrests, what are you gonna change? Landlords are gonna volunteer your repairs, and policemen are not gonna take payoffs? It's gonna go on anyhow, so stop all your screaming. Legalize corruption. Give our children back their roots.
Ow! Ow! There's something in my eyes.
Stop it, Bernard. You know it's all psychosomatic.
With you, everything wrong with me is psychosomatic.
Well,
Look, I admit that when I get stomach aches, it's psychosomatic, don't I?
you do.
And I admit that when I get sinus trouble, it's psychosomatic, don't I?
All right, Bernard, you do.
Okay, so when I get something in my eye, let me be the judge of whether or not it's psychosomatic.
All right. So how does it feel?
Oh, it's out.
Good. Don't rub it.
Where were we? I was just breaking up with you.
Ow, I've got a nosebleed.
What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove?
For God's sakes, Larry, come on.
Come on, you gonna fight? Come on, what do you think you're doing? You're crazy, you know that?
Larry, she's drunk. Come away.
Look, you gonna talk or fight? Come on. I can't walk away, Helen. It's a question of dignity.
Dignity? Larry, you're crazier than he is. Now you come with me.
Come on, are you gonna? Come on. Helen, how would you feel about me if I ran away? How would I feel about myself?
Larry, I swear to God, if you think I'm proud of you for getting into a street brawl, you're sadly mistaken.
Look, buddy, let's go. It's not just a street brawl, honey. It's a symbol of my entire manhood.
God's sakes, Larry, you're in analysis for your manhood. Being sent to the hospital won't help.
Can't you understand this, Helen? This is a moment of self-judgment, a time of improvement.
Are you crazy? A street brawl?
Hey, buddy, are you listening to me, buddy?
Oh my God, Larry, you've got the logic of a 7-year-old.
Oh, so I'm a 7-year-old, am I?
Hey, you gonna talk or fight? I gotta go home soon.
Helen, can you take any chance when you don't have an audience to cut me down?
Well, it is not I who must always draw that audience by making a public exhibition of myself.
Oh, the hell with it, fella. This ain't worth the aggravation. So I'm a 7-year-old exhibitionist, am I? You know what, Helen? I gotta punch you right in the nose.
Come on, Hester, come on.
Happy anniversary, Helen!
Excuse me, is this Mr. Mergendealer? This is Miss Sacrosanct of the telephone company, Mr. Mergendealer. What I'm calling about is a request for an unlisted number. Now, according to our records, you already have a number with us, and it is listed. Now, about that unlisted number, is this to be a new number or the number now listed? Well, the reason why I asked Mr. Mergendealer is that there will be a deletion charge to have your name stricken from the rolls. Well, I'm sure you can understand the expense. Well, every name in the telephone book's got to be moved up one, duh. On the other hand, if you were to get a new number, there would not be the deletion charge. Yes, that's nice. However, there would be an economical charge to have your name stricken from the rolls in either case. Now, about that unlisted number, I was wondering if you've ever considered having more than one. Well, they cost so little extra for an extension, Mr. Mergendealer, and what colors would you like to see them in? I see. Well, there's no need to scream, Mr. Mergendealer. No one is forcing you to do business with us. You can always go to one of our competitors.
God, don't you just hate this rat race?
God, yes.
Oh, hi, Jeannie. Hey, Faye.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Chuck.
God, all this partying, all this table hopping.
God, isn't it a drag?
Apa-cha. Hi, Carol. Hey, Sue. How's it going, Roz?
Hey, Rock. Hey, Dean.
God.
Hey, Buzz.
What are they overcompensating for?
God, isn't it too Freudian?
Apa-cha. Hey, Carol. Hey, Gigi. Candy. Let's go.
Hey, Casey. Hey, Mark. Hey, you. Hey.
James.
Hey, James. Oh, it's not his name.
Oh, that's not James.
Oh my God. Oh, his name.
Well, how often are you down here?
Every day, pretty well.
Apa-cha. Hi, Kirsten. Hey, Sarah. How's it going, Mara?
Hey, Jack. Hey, Tony. Hey, Toby.
God, they all lead such empty lives, don't they?
When I was a kid, I never could understand it when my father would shut himself off in his bedroom and play solitaire. My mother would say, "Father, some father, I'm mother and father to these children." Later, when I got married and we had kids, I began to understand a little better. It's as if marriage is for the mother, and the father is like the uncle who visits with the candy. They'll play with you, but it's the mother who owns them. Then, when they get older, you even lose the rank of uncle. My wife says, I have 3 children to take care of. My husband and the 2 little ones. Some fat joke. So what happens when you're almost 40 years old and you're treated like a little boy in your own house? You begin to feel like a little boy, that's what happens. Like TV. You want to watch what you want to watch, not what they want to watch, not what they want to watch. So you start coming home later. You drink more. You learn how to bowl. And all the while you say to yourself, here I am, 38 years old, and I don't even have it as good as the other kids. I don't even have my own room. All this big deal about white-collar crime. Man, what's wrong with white-collar crime? Who enjoys his job today? You? Me? Anybody? The only satisfying part of any job is coffee break, lunch hour, and quitting time. Years ago there was at least the hope of improvement, eventual promotion, more important jobs to come. Once you get me sold the myth you're going to make president of the company one day, you'll hardly ever steal stamps. But nobody believes he's going to be president anymore. The more people change jobs, the more they realize there's a direct connection between working for a living and total stupefying boredom. So why not take revenge? You won't see me knocking a guy because he pads an expense account or because his home stationery carries the company emblem. Take away crime from the white-collar worker, and you will rob him of his last vestige of job interest.
It's always been a struggle for me to find my place in society. Well, that's why I have to read books. For instance, in college, I thought I was getting on fine until I read that I was a member of a silent generation. So I shut up. Well, after college, I went into industry and felt that I was doing fine until I read that I was really a conformist organization man. So I went out and conformed and belonged. Well, I began making a lot of money and felt that I was doing fine until I read that in truth, I was a member of an acquisitive society, so I bought things. Well, I now had a lot of time on my hands, but I felt fine until I read that my income group had a leisure problem. So I learned hobbies. Now, for a while there, I felt fine, until I read that the root problem of my affluent society was status-seeking. Well, in between shutting up and conforming and belonging and acquiring and taking care of my leisure problem, I haven't yet had a chance to seek status. I guess I'll fit it in somehow. Coffee break!
A dance to the new year. In this dance, I have symbolized world peace and goodwill among all men. Oh, wait a minute. By goodwill, by world peace, I meant that we should have peace. Yes, but without appeasement on the aforementioned earth, and, well, naturally goodwill to all men. Oh, wait. By goodwill, I meant that we should only have goodwill to all those men who are, you know, all men of goodwill. Oh, wait a minute. By that, I meant that we should have goodwill to all men who are willing to recognize their own problems and our own problems, as long as they don't have a double standard and pretend to be uncommitted. So, what I'm really trying to say is world peace and fruitful negotiation with some men.
So one day he comes home. He says, Mama, I am not well emotionally. I need a psychiatrist. So I send him to a psychiatrist. After all, if you can't help your own son, what's a mother for? So one day he comes home. He says, Mama, psychoanalysis has taught me that home is a smothering influence. I'm moving out. So I find him his own apartment. After all, if you can't help your own son, what's a mother for? I give him rent money. I give him psychiatrist money. I give him a little extra so he should enjoy himself. Listen, what would I do with it? What's a mother for? So one day, he calls up. He says, Mother, you are giving me all this money just so I should feel guilty. Guilt is a mother's weapon. All right, why argue? What does it get you? So I stopped paying his rent, and I stopped paying his psychiatrist, and I stopped giving him anything extra. So now it's over a month. He's dispossessed, he can't find a job, and his psychiatrist is suing him. But listen, so long as he's happy.
I greet the world with a smile. Hello, world! You know, I used to think you were my enemy, but I was wrong. And then I thought you were my friend, but I was wrong again. So, I researched and read up and talked to all my intelligent friends, and now I know where you stand, world. Why, you don't even know I exist, world. And as long as you stay neutral, I stand a chance.